Hey, everybody. Have you ever been interested in actually watching your students' writing process? It's something that's very difficult to do, manage logistically in the classroom, and can even be harder to do when we're talking about using digital resources like Google Docs. But there's an extension for Google Chrome that will allow you to do just that. And it'll give you a ton of detailed information about the way that your students went about writing their papers in Google Docs. And it's called Draftback. And first, I want to talk about how to get Draftback attached to Google Chrome. So we would start by going to the Chrome Web Store, which you can just Google search Web Store, and then searching up in the upper left-hand corner for Draftback. And you'll notice I already have that installed, but typically it would look like this, and it would say Add to Chrome. So once you add that, you won't see anything happen. There won't be a big flashy button that shows up in the corner or anything. You'll only see the option to use Draftback when you're in a Google Doc. So here we go. I'm in here, and you'll see I have this new little button up at the top that says Draftback. Now, this is showing me that within this document, there have been over 1,000 different revisions. Okay, and Draftback is going to let me visualize all of those. So I'm going to click on the button, and you'll see it is creating this preview animation. Once it's done, we hit View, and it's going to start playing. Now, what you're seeing here is essentially myself typing up this document. And up here in the upper left, this is showing you what you're viewing at any one time, and you can make this bigger or smaller. So you can see the bottom of that gets cut off when I make this view smaller. I'm going to go back to playing it. Now you can see that I didn't just start at the top and work my way down. This was a big table that I made, if you'll recall. I'm going to jump back to this view. It's a big table. So instead of starting at the top and working my way down sequentially, I actually kind of jumped all around. And you might find out that your students actually type that way, even in a regular paper. They might come up with their main ideas and start typing their second paragraph before their first. And this actually lets you visualize that whole process. You can pause it at any time. You can move along the timeline backwards and forward. You can play it more slowly or more quickly. So that in and of itself is neat. It allows you to visualize the process. It also allows you to see whether or not your students maybe just copied and pasted a ton of information from someplace else into their document. You can actually see it all appear at once instead of being typed out. But what I think is even more interesting is this link that you'll see up here at the top that says Document Graphs and Statistics. When I click on this, I get a wealth of information. So first off, this tells me that the paper was completed in 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 16 seconds. All right. Right below that, it gives me a timeline of activity. The kind of shaded bluish green area shows me the document length. All right, so this shows that at the very beginning, back on February 14th, not a lot of this document was created. But then quickly, it went all the way up to being essentially as long as it was ever going to be. And it stayed that way over a number of days until just recently, in the last couple of days, it went up a little bit more. And the red dots show activity. So when somebody was actually in there typing. So this visualizes the fact that I started this work a while ago, I let it sit for a number of days, and then I made a few updates later. The section below shows where in the document those changes occurred. So dots up at the top represent the beginning of the document, and dots down at the bottom represent the end of the document. All right. And then down below, this tells me that the document was created over 15 distinct writing sessions. All right. And a writing session is defined as a period where there was not more than a 10-minute gap before revisions. So this is neat because it shows that First of all, I was the one who made most of the revisions, right? And these were the times. It also shows that other people made revisions in this document as well and how many they made. And you can see that my most number of revisions was at this time, and I spent half an hour working during that time. So this would allow you to visualize when your students are in their documents typing. How long did they type for? Did they type over multiple sessions and spread that out? Or did they do it Thursday night before it was due and they spent 2 hours on it cramming the night before to get it all finished? Hopefully this gives you an idea of the value of this program, this Draftback, and maybe gives you some ideas of things that you can incorporate this into in your Google Doc documents for your classroom. If you have any questions about Draftback, feel free to contact any of your instructional coaches.